In this short video, I will discuss three aspects of communicating or describing the design of your experiment with farmers, describing it to other scientists, to farmers, and to yourself. First, communicating your design to other researchers. Many researchers are used to describing their experimental design with a name that they hope describes its key aspects: a randomized block design, a lattice design with split plots, and so on. However, when it comes to experiments with farmers, there are simply too many possibilities to capture even the essence of the design in a name. Don't try. Instead, describe how the trial is designed and why it is like that. Some currently popular approaches have been named, such as the mother and baby trial, but that term is interpreted in different ways by different people and doesn't adequately describe an experiment. I suggest you don't worry about the name, but worry about the validity and efficiency of what you plan. Much more critical is making sure that farmers and others involved, extension agents, field staff, understand the design and why it is like that. It's not unusual to hear researchers complain that farmers spoilt the trial in some way. They let animals in to eat it, they harvested it before it was measured, they didn't manage it as expected, or they put fertilizer on plots that they were supposed to be not fertilized. All these are due to a communication problem. The problem can be described in these ways: lack of understanding and lack of ownership of the trial. These are associated with giving the activity a low priority and perhaps only agreeing to take part because of some perceived other benefits, rather than to find things out that may be helpful to their farming. The aim in communicating with farmers about the design is simple. You want farmers to feel and to describe it as our research, not your research. How? It takes investing in communicating with farmers. And what do you need to communicate about? Well, there's quite a long list. There are three levels of understanding that is needed. First is at the level of the problem being addressed and the sorts of options or solutions being considered. That includes understanding what is not known and hence why an experiment or trial is necessary. Then farmers need to understand how the design works. What is the basis for learning from it? That includes such things as comparing like with like, taking measurements in a consistent way, and repeating the exercise on different farms to compare the results. And then thirdly, there are a lot of practical details. Who is supplying the inputs, who is doing the work, what happens to the products from the experimental plots, and so on. How you manage this communication is up to you, but it certainly requires some skill and must be taken seriously. Finally, what about communicating the design to yourself? I was referring to having a written protocol of the design. This is for communicating with yourself so that you're able to remember exactly what you did when you come back to look at the data in the future. The protocol is a written description of all details of the experimental plan and procedure. There are several reasons why it's necessary, not just so that you remember in the future what happened. First, it can be shared with others before you start. They can comment on it and improve it. As fieldwork progresses, it should be updated so that it acts as a complete record of what was actually done, not just what was planned. It should be archived with the data, and it will be included in reports that you write based on that data. And eventually, it will be the basis for the methods section of any papers that you write.